Well, this week we made it in. We done it again. We made it work for another episode. So just to let you know, Mike couldn't make it this week because he's out of town doing out of town things. But I looked in my address book of my 6 friends and I was able to find somebody. And
Not
I,
not
I,
six.
yeah, '06. And I was able to I don't know why she talked to me, but she do. So I was able to bring my friend Tomika out here to come hang out for a little bit. Meek, how are you doing today?
Hey, I am good. I woke up this morning in my right mind, so I'm not gonna complain.
Hey,
I'm
hey,
good.
that's
How are
good.
you?
I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. So let me start off by looking up the definition of hoss, right? So it, and this is all going to make sense in a minute, but hoss, the origin, I'm using Urban Dictionary here because
Okay.
Merriam-Webster started talking
Yeah.
crazy and
She
I
be on
can't.
she be on that BS sometimes.
Absolutely. So the origin of hoss is a word from the hit TV show Bonanza, a Western series.
Of course it
And some of its definitions is one, clerk. Hey, how's it going? Another one is that it has something to do with the demeanor and attitude of a kind and gentle soul, but a really big
Oh,
guy, right?
oh my
So
God, that is
now
so you.
so now it has been used as a term of endearment of brotherhood or respect to a fellow person, whether they are familiar with a person or not. Now, I bring that up because me and Meek always call ourselves Hoss in
I don't
text
even
messages.
know. I don't remember who said it, but like this goes back to like 2010.
Yes.
Like I don't even remember who said it first, but like yeah.
Oh, it was my dumbass because I remember I heard it. Because I remember hearing it in something, right? And
Right.
I have a tendency to as intricate as the English language is, to use words and not look up the meaning, right?
Of
So
course.
I remember I called you Hoss at work, and
You
you looked
did.
at me like, I know you didn't just call me that, and it stuck. It became a
It
running joke.
really did. It that joke been going 12 years strong.
12 years strong. 12
Yeah,
years strong.
yeah.
So if you haven't noticed, me and Tomika used to work together. And boy, I, the things I can't say on this podcast that but we were terrors in that
Oh my
office
God. In
in
a
a
good
good
way
way.
though.
In a
Like
good way. Absolutely.
me, you, Chief.
Yep. We had a
Oh,
blast.
what a
We
time.
we had a time. Oh man, the, the building closed because of us. I mean, let's be.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
All right, Meek. So I know this is your first podcast episode ever, which
Yeah,
I am
it is.
thankful. I'm very thankful for you showing up. Uh, Tell us a little bit about your geekdom. Some of it I kind of knew, but I
Okay.
know like recently you've been I think you almost opening day to every Marvel movie at least, or maybe every
I
superhero
am.
movie.
I
And
am mostly Marvel because DC, but we're getting to DC a little bit later.
yeah, but
Um,
tell me where that comes from. Like, childhood, give us a little bit about your fandoms.
okay, yeah. I wouldn't consider myself like a geek as a kid. I just was like that quiet bookworm. Like I don't even know where like my passion for reading came from. It's just I don't know. I learned how to read, found out that I could borrow books from the library, and like the rest is history. Um, so like growing up, there was like Batman cartoons, Spider Man cartoons. I
That
really
Saturday
didn't.
morning lineup, right?
Yes, the
Yeah.
infamous Saturday morning lineup.
Hearing that X-Men theme always take me back.
Oh my gosh. So it started with that. I really do. I don't have a whole lot of regrets, but I do regret not getting into like the comic books as a kid, because I know a few people who like like they've been collecting since they're kids, and like looking at their collections, like I would cash that in. That's just me, so I wouldn't have to work. But but yeah, I was into gaming as a kid. I have three brothers, two sisters, and they all feel like I'm the fourth brother because like I grew up just playing with my brothers. I was a tomboy, like to be outside. And then my mom came home one day with a Nintendo, and it took off from there.
Wait. Your mom, y'all didn't even have to say nothing. She just came home with a Nintendo.
She did. Because
Wow.
I remember my mom used to play Atari. I'm
Okay.
dating myself. But yeah, I remember we had an Atari. And then like one Christmas she brought us a Nintendo with like it had like Mario Brothers on it, Duck Hunt, the little Olympics joint with the pad. Yeah. And it just like video games, it just kind of took off from there. So Nintendo, Super Nintendo, we had a Sega Genesis, the first PlayStation. As I've gotten older, I have gotten out of gaming, but thanks to the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I've been sucked back in because, yeah, like ever since I want to say maybe Thor Ragnarok. No, it was before. I'm trying to remember the first Marvel movie I went and saw in the movie theater. Like whatever it was, ever since that point on, I'm going opening weekend to watch because Marvel can just have all my money at this point.
So let me ask you this, because this is a it's almost like when you discussing hip hop with folks. But if someone was to ask you your top three movies, could you name them?
Like Marvel,
Mm-hmm.
whew, that's tough. One, because it's the most recent one I've seen. Just to me personally, would have to be Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Okay.
Um, Number two would probably have to be um, the Avengers, Infinity War, and then number three would be Endgame.
That's a tough list right there.
It,
You
I
can't go
mean, it's
wrong.
tough because I've enjoyed every single thing they've released that's Marvel related. Like even the shows that are on Disney Plus, like I've enjoyed everything. So
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to pick, but yeah, those would be my top three today. That list might change tomorrow. Who knows?
Hey, you know how it goes when
Yeah.
emotions get a vote, because I remember watching all them portals open in Endgame, and I just start tearing up.
Uh,
And I was just like, what am I doing? But oh my goodness, this is something as a kid that I couldn't wait to see. And well, I won't say couldn't wait to see as a kid, but seeing like your whole entity as a kid, because I was a big comic book head.
right.
Matter of
Right.
fact, I would even say it's the reason I learned how to read, because I wasn't a novel person.
Oh,
But
wow.
so my mother always credits comic books for making me want to read more, right?
Well,
And
I appreciate that, and I appreciate your mom. Cause side note, we have our own little private book club going on
yes.
right right now. It's just us, but yeah, I'm so glad that that happened because we wouldn't we wouldn't get to read books and have discussions and stuff without that.
Absolutely.
So shout out to your
Absolutely.
mom.
Yeah, absolutely. So like Meek just mentioned, we just got done reading The Butcher and the Wren. Uh it's
Oh,
based it's based off a author who does the Morbid podcast. And if you never listen to the Morbid podcast, I say give it a listen. It's pretty good. It depends what type of format you like your true crime, right?
right,
Some people do it in a conversational tone, and others do it in a more scripted type of situation, right? I
right.
personally prefer scripted, but if it's the right individual, like military murder, she does a really good job of
Oh my
describing.
God, you know about military murder?
Remember, you put me on to him,
I
so
Miss Margot.
yeah. So she So she does to me a really good job of being very descriptive and explaining the events
Yeah.
that's taking place. And Morbid does a good job. The only downside to Morbid to me, and this is just me nitpicking, is that uh, it sounds like two college kids um, talking sometimes, right?
Uh,
And, and I mean, it's that's that's neither here or there. As long as they do a good job, I would still engage, but if you was to ask me my first type of preference, it's more scripted, or someone who stays on point of the subject. Because I feel
yeah.
some people will then go, "Oh, remember we went to the club Thursday night," and then I go, "Oh yeah, so now," and I
Yeah.
am not Mister uh be able to retain stuff easy, so I'm like,
Yeah.
give it to me before you start, veering off, you
I
know.
like for me, it doesn't necessarily have to be scripted for me to enjoy it. There just has to be like a structure. So,
Yes,
maybe instead of like right now exactly what it is you're gonna say, you have like your note cards off to the side so that you can stay on topic. Cause
absolutely.
a lot of us do suffer from like ADHD, and it's real easy to jump from one subject to another.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true. Have you ever listened to Mr. Ballin? I know I recommended him to you back in the day.
Mr. Bowling.
Yeah, he does weird and mysterious I say murder and crime himself, right? And he has
Uh-huh.
a podcast and he's also on YouTube, but he is very, very good at storytelling. He's a former ranger. Um, and
Ooh.
I almost want to say he comes from a family of literary uh I guess scholars, because I believe his sister works for the Boston Globe or something like that. But
Oh
he
wow.
the
Okay.
scripts that he write, I mean, they are very descriptive, and you sit there on the edge of your seat. And the only reason I don't listen to it every day is because with all my true crime, I need some balance, right? But
Yes. I thought I was the only person. Like I realized a long time because I've been into true crime. Like my TV stays on the Audi channel,
hmm, yep, I used to do the
but
same
I've
thing.
I've realized just like remember when I binged Dexter
Yeah,
in Korea.
yeah.
I was only watching Dexter, so when I would go to sleep, I dreams were either I'm Dexter or like I have to escape from Dexter. So like
Hmm.
when I get immersed into like that, yeah, I have to have a balance
Yeah.
because then it follows me into dreamland, and those dreams are not always they're not good dreams to have.
No, no. I mean, I'll even be real with you. I don't know if it was with my wife or someone I used to date. I was binging Grey's Anatomy with them, right? So every time I would go to sleep, it seemed like I had to give somebody surgery. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, right? And it like you said, it was the weirdest dreams because
Yeah,
of it, right? And I love a good horror movie.
I do too.
I love a good gory sci-fi movie, but
Same.
sometimes I have to go, well, before I go to bed, let me go put on IT Crowd and give myself a little something to kind of balance out what I just saw. But,
Yeah.
you know, all right, so let's go ahead. Oh, matter of fact, the next little segment we're going to do here is tell us what you've been digging this week, right? I'm going to start off, and then just to give you an idea of what I'm
Okay.
talking about, and then you can
Okay.
come in and tell me what you've been digging this week. So this week, um, talking about binging, I have been binging the hell out of Yellowstone, right? And
It's on my list. I've
look,
heard good things about it.
I'm
It's on
gonna
my list.
I'm gonna tell you now that I was one of those individuals was like, here we go with this BS. I'm not interested. Oh, we talking about, cattles and ranches and stuff like that.
Right.
And and it's crazy that I'm saying that because it's not like I didn't love Justified. Justified is kind of that way. I love Justified. I don't know if you remember Deadwood on HBO. I
I
loved
do.
I loved that back in the day. And
Right.
Yellowstone is just as good. I'm telling you, I can't wait for you to watch it because I want
Okay.
to talk to you about this character named Beth. because you talking about Miss, I'm gonna cut your nuts off. She is that woman because she
is me. She is me.
Just the way that she carries herself on that show is that like
I love to see that.
I'm trying to think about McNulty from The Wire, and then just think if you're meeting a female version. When I say that, I'm saying that in the sense of just how she exudes confidence in a room full of other corporate individuals, male or female. It doesn't matter. You know, if you wrong someone that she likes, she's coming for your neck, right? And there's more to it where you have, of course, you have Kevin Costner in there, and he plays a great role. And to be fair, I have never been like the biggest Kevin Costner fan. And don't get me wrong, I know people always go back to the legendary Bodyguard, but that wasn't really my type of thing. But he knocks this out the park, and
wasn't he the Clark Kent's dad in Man of Steel?
He was.
Okay.
And as he played a great role as that too, but I always get annoyed when he's over here in his ball of flames and your son can save you and you're just like, nah, chill. No,
like bro, like you realize you just committed suicide, right? Like
absolutely. Come get me. Like I don't care who knows. I'm going, and that's the difference, because like some dads ain't gonna say nothing. This dad is gonna be like, look, I think we can get a lick with these powers, like
not for real. I mean, secrets are not gonna stay secrets forever, especially something like that. Like
absolutely. And just the tone of that movie anyway, I mean, they like knew who he was in like 5 seconds. So it's like, why did you even bother? But I can go down a rabbit hole with that. But yeah, for me, Yellowstone was is a great TV show. It's well written. The show is filmed in Wyoming, and you talk about the views, the just beautiful hills and luscious greens and look, I'm not going to act like I'm Mr. Rancher himself, but sometimes I have family in Mississippi, and a lot of them do farming, and it there's a little bit of sympathy, or not sympathy, empathy, just watching that on television. You're kind of like, okay, like people, me being a city boy, you think like life is sweet. That ranch life is something different. Like
it is.
You getting up at 4 a.m, you out there ranging cattle, you got to make sure that you putting food on your plate. And it looks like they got a lot of money because they got so much land, they got so much cattle, and they don't, you sometimes don't think of the experiences that they go through. Someone's trying to buy your land, your crops don't come through, there's always something. But give it a shot. Let me know you do, Meek. I'll make a whole new podcast just to talk about Yellowstone, because I really love that. All right, so tell us what you've been digging this week.
This is gonna sound maybe a little cheesy, but this week I've truly been enjoying like my solitude. Like, okay, I live alone, but I do have like 2 dogs.
Sure.
And I am single AF. I'm pretty sure y'all can get what the AF means. Yeah, like I haven't been in like a serious relationship. Honestly, it's been 9 years. I mean, I've dated like off and on, but nothing serious since then. And I went through therapy and working through like my trauma, my baggage. I've honestly found like peace and happy just being by myself. And I haven't felt like this happy and this much peace in a while. So I'm just kind of enjoying it. People, like my best friend, can't understand how I'm like content being by myself. But right now, like I am, like life is good. I have an amazing job. I have 2 incredible little doggies that love me to death, and I love them back. Bills are paid, food's in the fridge.
Gotta
So
love it.
yeah, I'm just basking in my solitude. Like it's peaceful in my house, and I want it to stay that way for as long as possible.
Can I move in with you so I can get some of my solitude back?
Come on, I got a
Because
spare bedroom. Come on,
because
Haas.
because my children take my solitude every day and then play with it in the front of the house. You
Yeah,
know.
I bet little gangsters.
But no, that's really true sometimes because, for example, sometimes when I'm coming home from work, I stop at the park and eat just for a little bit of that solitude, and it's not because of just family, because
No,
people
I
suck.
understand. Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand. Like it's like as a kid, I grew up in a single parent household. Like my mom worked a lot, to
Hmm.
provide for all six of us. And I never really understood, like, because like in the summertime when she would have like, especially when she had like days off, we actually legit, no lie, would get locked out the house during the day. Like she,
Yep. My
as an
mom and dad did the
adult,
same thing.
I mean, you can't do that now.
No.
But as an adult, I understand, like like, because I have the stress of just, well, I have my day job and then I have my own little small business, but I work on my business when I want to, but like just the stress of having to work Monday through Friday for 8 hours.
Hmm.
I couldn't imagine the stress of that. Like there was times when she worked like multiple jobs
Hmm.
and dealing with six badass kids. Like we were bad. I understand. Like when it lines up where you're just off and you have a day to yourself. I like if I had kids, I would probably get in trouble for locking them out because yeah, I need my me time. So I understand, like, leaving work, going to a park, like having a snack or eating, or just because I think it's important to kind of de stress from your
Yes.
day, especially because, like, work can sometimes suck. And you don't want to bring, like, the suckage of work into your house, just like you don't want to bring, like, house issues into work. So, I
Hmm.
think that's important. But yeah, if you need some me time, we got a spare bedroom. My dog's going to get on your nerves, but.
It's okay. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Just I'm just gonna let that be known. So, Meek, I'm gonna ask you how much. Okay, I'm going to ask you. Did you like the Transformer movies back in the day?
Um, are we talking about the Shia LaBeouf ones?
Yes.
So I enjoyed the first one.
Okay.
I was like, okay, cool. Like, and cause Shia, I used to watch him on Even Stevens on the Disney.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Did you
yeah,
watch
so
his
it was
whole movie too?
which movie?
He had a so before he went to Hollywood, he had the Even Stevens show, and then there's this movie called Holes from Disney before I think he did Transformers. Like
Is that
so
the one with what's his? Oh, what is that guy? Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I
if you're
haven't seen
asking if
it in
it's
a
the
long
movie with that
time.
guy with the big ears, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Because
And I
I
hate to
follow
to
him
to to,
on
to say
social
him that
media.
way, but that's what I remember him for.
I can't think of his name. I'm blanking on his name, but yeah, I follow him on social media.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that and I think there was like a Eagle Eye movie. There's like a
Yes.
movie, yeah,
Wait,
about
was
like
that
the
Jake Gyllenhaal? I don't remember. No, that was him. That was Shia.
yeah.
And let's be real, Shia can do some roles if he just
He,
wasn't.
I mean, if we're just talking about like the talent, the actor,
Yeah,
then yeah, he's talented. Not the human being. Like I'm cool. I'm a pass.
yeah. He's the last person I want to go drinking with because I feel like he'll
Yeah,
go south, right?
exactly. Because he screams angry drunk to me, just to me.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to fight you, sir.
yeah.
So yeah,
Trying to have a good time, and you over here
yeah.
talking about aliens. I don't know if
So yeah,
I'm in for that.
I enjoyed the first one. The second one, It was okay. It was the two Transformers that I guess were supposed to be like black. So like the black talk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do we need this? Was
Right.
my question. Could
Right.
have done without. But yeah, like the first three. So yeah, those three movies I enjoyed, and then I think I watched maybe the first one they did with Mark Wahlberg, and then
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you know what? I think I'm good.
Well,
I
guess
think
what?
I'm good.
Well, guess what? You're getting more, right? Because
Yeah.
now we decided to go ahead and add some animals, right? So we just recently got the trailer for Transformers, the the Rise of the Beast, right? Now, I don't know, did you ever watch Transformers? I think it was called Transformers Primal back in Beast Wars. Excuse me. Did you watch Beast Wars back in the day? It used to come on early mornings before you went to school and stuff like that. It was like one of the first, I'm going to call it one of the first CGI cartoons of its time.
Oh,
And
actually,
so,
no. I don't think I did.
so there's, it kind of goes back to that time a little bit because you had Optimus Primal, who's basically Optimus Prime, but just now he's a gorilla. Then you have, I think there was Rat Trap, Cheetor, and a few others. And the budget for these was kind of funny because they didn't transform all the time because, you know, that stuff costs money, right? So like if you was to look at it again in 2022, I can't think about, I want to say it came out late 90s. So, you know, times have changed. And so
Right.
that would look completely different now. But it did its thing back then. But matter of fact, let's go this way. When you saw the trailer, what was your thoughts on the trailer?
At first, I was like, "Here we go again." I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest,
Mhm.
because I didn't know that that this was like in the works. I didn't know that they were. I don't know. Is it revamping? Is it a do over? Like,
I'm
but
the same with you. I didn't realize it was. I knew that
it's
they were
like,
thinking about trying to redo that series because they weren't too fond of how it turned out the first time around. But
yeah.
this caught me off guard.
So yeah, I was like Transformers movie. But I mean, I did appreciate the like the detail because like CGI has come such a long way, even
Hmm.
from like the first Transformer movies, right? So I did enjoy like the intricate details of like the Transformers. Like they look, I don't want to say more human, but I don't know what other word to use to describe like how they look, when they transform. I
Hmm.
don't understand what's happening. Like I don't know the storyline,
Well,
but
here I can kind of guess, right?
right.
I can kind of guess the animals have now came to Earth. The big bad is coming, and now the fight is on again. If
So
if I was to,
Megatron wasn't the biggest threat to Earth. Now it's the animals.
man, who you telling? I really don't know these days because
I'm just like, make it make sense, but
yeah,
or are
yeah,
we just pretending that Megatron didn't happen? Are we forgetting about? Okay, I mean, just let me know, because if I need to reset some memories, I will reset some memories to
because
go on this journey. If it is a journey
Megatron
that
used
you're,
to be that dude, and they've kind of, you know, made him very minimal in this series and said, "Hey, there's all these other threats that are bigger than Megatron." But by
they
doing so, you know, I'm an '80s baby, and so
put some respect
when
on
I
his name.
was that
Put some respect on his name.
absolutely, absolutely, like he was the guy who always went toe to toe with Optimus Prime, and I would even
Get
understand if he lived at the end of every movie, but every time they keep on bringing these new threats, and they kind of don't explain why there's such a big threat the right way.
yeah,
It's like, okay, come on, what are you guys doing? But
yeah.
yeah, I kid you. I'm kind of curious story wise, but let me ask you this because um I won't say that I've gotten critical of movie trailers. I tried to watch very few of them. So
I
when I
did
go to
too.
the movies that I really get surprised. But
Yes.
did the Biggie do it for you in this trailer?
Mm, no.
The minute I heard, and then I don't know now, I was like, okay, hold on, wait a second. Like
Like
this,
what? What's happening? What are we doing?
look,
Yeah.
one of the biggest things that used to get me about Transformers was when Linkin Park used to come on
Oh.
during Transformers, right? It was, and I can't remember, I believe it's Shelton, Benjamin Shelton or something of that nature. I can't remember his name, and I do apologize. And I know he's passed or whatever, but when that man used to get on and you used to hear that piano come in and then he would start singing, I was the movie could have been super trash. I was super hooked because that song, I don't know, for some interesting thing, kind of just followed me throughout my military career in weird moments,
I
you
get,
know.
I get, I get that. Just like, just a caveat from that really quick. There is a Spider-Man. It was when Tobey Maguire was Spider-Man,
Hmm.
and there was a song. I think was it Nickelback,
Yeah, that
Hero.
Nickelback song. Yeah. Oh man.
Oh my gosh, that just
Yeah.
made the movie that much better to like.
Yeah.
Some people they be sleeping on like the soundtrack. Like
Yeah.
the soundtrack can heighten the experience of the freaking movie.
Yep. Yep. Trailer too. Because you're trying
Yeah,
to, it's already Transformers, so you already kind of got this bad taste in your mouth about it.
yeah.
But if you, to me, if you're slacking on the trailer, like you're like continuously just losing me. And Transformers is one of those things where it's like I'm not going to theaters to watch this, but if I happen to catch it on television, I'll sit down and check it out. But
Yeah, I'm sure HBO Max or like Paramount Plus, like
yeah,
I'm sure one of the streaming services.
yeah,
I'm sorry,
public
forgive
television
me, but
after midnight.
I'm not going to spend money to go see this movie because
No,
I have to be super picky. Like I made the mistake of going to see the CGI version of The Lion King in movie theaters and really wanted to argue with the movie theater to get my money back. Because what was this? Like
I totally forgot about that because I don't even
that's
think I
a
even watched it.
don't like
Okay.
anybody that grew up like you grew up in the 80s or like the
Hmm.
90s and because I distinctly remember as a child going to the movie theater to watch the Lion King when it
Mm,
came out,
hmm.
like they butchered it to me. I mean, although I will say, because I'm not a fan of remakes. Like if
Sure.
the original is good, then what happened to remastering and re-releasing? Like
Mm,
I get it, there's a whole nother generation behind us, and that generation, they're spawning and having kids. So there's that generation. So I guess I understand making it more modern for them, but yeah, I'm not a fan. Although I will say that I am going to go see The Little Mermaid when it comes out next year, only because of who plays Ariel and the controversy behind that. But that's a whole nother conversation.
absolutely. You know what though? Here's some insider information. The new kids don't care about those shows at all. They could,
They
I,
don't.
and the reason I say that is, for example, my wife made the she made the ideal of, hey, let me show my daughters the classics, the Lion Kings, the Aladdin. If you were to ask me if they've gone back, even though the Wizard of Oz, if I was to say if those girls have gone back to any of those movies, absolutely not. Right? The
Right.
the movie that captivates my youngest is Frozen. And for a while, for my oldest, it was Turning Red or Seeing Red. I don't recall the title, but they when I put on, other than putting on Looney Tunes or Dexter's Laboratory, they could care less about any of those movies, and the remakes even more. I'd never seen. I'm trying to sit here and think if there's been ever a movie that they gone back to, and it ain't happening. Now, I kind of made the mistake because my daughter to this day will still tell you, I want to watch Chucky. And I'm like, well, they've seen it. And my daughter is a Pennywise fanatic now. So I have to watch her. But yeah.
I think I just found my next partner in crime. Yes, I'm going to Hawaii. Yes.
Yeah, I love absolutely. That. You know, you're always welcome. So, but yeah, so, you know, I agree with you. Sometimes, especially last week, my cousin and I, we talked about Indiana Jones 5. And we've gotten to the point, like, why are we doing this? Like, I respect, because I kind of hate how we treat age sometimes, right? So, like, for example, if I was to buy a convertible now, they'd be like, oh, you going through a midlife crisis. No, in my 20s, I couldn't afford it. It was a stupid reason to be purchasing a convertible, right?
Yeah.
Compared to now. So I understand at 80 years old, you still want to enjoy making movies and films and stuff like that.
Is that how old Harrison Ford is?
I want to say he's in his early 80s. I want to say he's about in his early 80s. I don't recall. But he, you know, he's still out there. He's out there flying warplanes, driving vintage cars.
I respect that because, like, you know who Sam Elliott is? Yes.
He is like the cowboy of all cowboys.
That old man could get it. Like,
it's the mustache, ain't it? It's the mustache.
No, it's the voice. Oh my God, his voice. But yeah, I mean, it's just so yeah. I do applaud people like that because if I live to be 80, I just want to be high somewhere. Like, I don't want to work.
Yeah, and I don't really. And to be fair, I don't understand why you don't want to have fun in your 80s, right?
Yeah, because I understand working, you know, to build a life, to be able to provide for yourself and, you know, your family, whatever constitutes a family, because it means different things to different people. But like at some point, don't you want to just kind of stop and enjoy, like look at what you've built and just enjoy whatever life you have left? Because I mean, nobody is promised tomorrow. Like I always say, if I'm in like my 60s and I'm still working, I failed at life. That's just me. Right. I've been working hard since about 16.
And I'm sure you had relatives like my dad was, who they feel like if they not working, then matter of fact, Mariana, my wife, her family, the way that they operate, if they ain't working, then they rather be dead because it's all they know. My mother-in-law literally worked for just all intended purposes, just to say that she was productive, right? And so when we took her on vacation, she was just like, I don't know what to do. I'm supposed to be doing something. And you know, and it kind of blows your mind because I'm not built that way.
I'm not, and I think it's that generation because like my dad is the same exact way. Like he drove trucks for like 43 years, and then he retired, and he was fine for a little while, but then like yeah, like what am I supposed to do with my life? So he got like a part-time job at like O'Reilly Auto Parts back home. I'm like, Daddy, why are you working? He's like, you know, a lot of my friends that I met that were truck drivers, like they retired, sat down, and they died. And I just feel like I have a lot of living to do, even though he's 70. He's got a lot of living left to do. So, okay, do
I'd
you
be
think
Indonesia with a mushroom shake?
Yeah, who you telling? And a blunt in the other hand. I'm just saying. Or at least an RV riding around the continental U.S.
Yeah,
smoking weed where it's legal.
Yeah, I'd be a mess. I do think about them times. I get excited. I get excited, you know.
Same. We
So
have that in common.
we have another trailer here, and this one stars my boy Pedro Pascal, and this is the Last of Us TV show coming to HBO Max, right? And this
Right.
trailer, I'm gonna give a little breakdown here because I know there's a video game. I played it just a little bit, and it's not that I didn't like it or anything. I get to playing games and then I stop and then I never pick it back up until whatever moment. But point
Right.
blank, this is based off the award-winning video game of the same name, where it takes place 20 years after a fungal pandemic decimated the global human population. Joel, a hardened survivor living in a Boston quarantine zone, is tasked by a rebel group called the Fireflies with smuggling a mysterious 13-year-old girl, Ellie, out of the QZ. It seems like a relatively small job, but things take a turn, thrusting Joel and Ellie on an odyssey across what's left of America. It's all because Ellie is somehow immune to the virus, making her the key to finding a cure. So I'll start off this time when it comes to the trailer. The trailer doesn't give us too much, but I'm going to say now, HBO always knocks it out the park with
If
particular TV
you
shows.
don't get out my head, sir. HBO don't miss.
Yes, you know,
They always come out swinging. Like,
absolutely. So between
so yeah.
Lovecraft Country to Watchmen, The Wire, Deadwood, Boardwalk Empire, Succession is really good if you haven't seen that. There is so many shows that, you know, and that's what's kind of heartbreaking too, to hear that HBO is trying to change. Well, HBO Discovery is trying to change their format, and they're trying to get away from least from more scripted shows to more reality based shows.
No, we do not need more reality based shows.
No,
we
absolutely
do not.
And
Keep it
to
scripted.
To be honest with you, HBO is one of the few places I go to. Oh, and I don't know why I'm forgetting Game of Thrones and all its.
Oh my God, and House of the Dragon.
Yes.
Yes.
But you know, they have, you know, even if you don't know, this show is done by the people who did Chernobyl. And I don't know if you saw Chernobyl, but it was amazing. It was amazing. And
I mean, I'm gonna watch it. I mean, I'm definitely going to tune in.
Yeah, because I again, like you said, I don't believe that they miss when it comes to a scripted TV show. And there might be a handful of those that got canceled, but
they don't got play. Me to watch fucking Peacemaker.
Yeah,
I even watched Peacemaker.
How'd you like that?
I mean, I went into it with zero expectations, which is what I do for DC movies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, DC anything, because I just don't understand what's going on over there.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna
talk about it. But I was able to watch the entire season, so you know, like whenever there's like a new show, I like if I'm not intrigued or sucked in by like the end of the pilot, I move on because it's just it's not for me, which is fine. But I mean, it had me intrigued. I'm like, where is this going? What is happening? And I was able to finish it, but just I didn't hate it, but I don't love it either. It's just it's right in the middle for me.
Right. I can understand that. And to be fair, and my cousin mentions this a lot too, it brings on a lot of confusion because we're unaware what this means for the bigger picture, right?
Exactly.
So you have this show and you're like, okay, I'm digging this, but is there going to even be another Suicide Squad? Are we going to get Peacemaker? Why is the Justice League at the end of this? I thought they were gone. You know, there's all these questions.
Yes.
And matter of fact, you know what? Let's just get into it because
let's do it.
All right.
Yeah, because
So
there's a lot to unpack and a lot to talk about. Because let's
who you
do it.
telling? And here's the thing:
Yeah,
the information keeps coming. So
yeah,
let's just start from the start here, right?
right.
Let's start from the start. What am I saying? Let's start from earlier this week. It was announced that we are not getting Wonder Woman 3 in theaters. Now, there's two versions of this story going around. One version
Yeah,
is that the new team of James Gunn and Peter Safran just went
right.
ahead and scrapped the movie. And there's another version that the director, Patty Jenkins, turned in her treatment for the movie, and that the higher ups at WB, at Warner Brothers, didn't like it.
Yeah.
And now it's a lot of melee because there's even rumors out there that Henry Cavill isn't even supposed to be coming
Hey,
back.
and that is gonna piss me. That's gonna piss me off.
Same, same.
That like, don't get me wrong. Like, I've seen both Wonder Woman movies.
Hmm.
The first one they could have killed. I'm just being honest. It's sad though because I love Gal Gadot. I love her
Hmm.
as an actress. She
Hmm.
is super talented. But like the second one, okay, cool. Well, maybe we got off rough start with the first one. We kind of built on it a little bit with the second one. Okay, cool. You know what? If they make a third one, I would check that out because hopefully it just gets better. As time goes by, and then like I said, I've only seen Man of Steel because I just refuse to watch a Justice League where Ben Affleck is Batman. I cannot.
Well, here's the
And
funny thing: you're in Bizarro world because most people like the first one, but hated
the
part two,
second one,
the second one. But to so for a little
okay,
bit of context,
this is
the
what I didn't like about the first one.
okay, hold on one
I
second.
could
So for context, the
okay,
first Wonder Woman came out pre-pandemic and
yeah,
made gangbuster numbers. The
yeah,
second Wonder Woman came
that was like HBO Max, right?
HBO Max, and apparently they had it out in theaters when two of their biggest draws are closed, LA and New York.
Yeah,
So
like
no one could go to the
why would
theater.
you yeah, why would you do that?
So it kind of set it up for failure. Now, with
It
that also
did.
being said, a lot of people just didn't like how the flow of Wonder Woman 2 and the villain was for that, even though again, it's my boy Pedro, because
Yeah,
he kills it in he's in Narcos, he's in Mandalorian. I don't
yeah.
know when this man
He's
sleeps.
super yeah,
He
like
does a
get your
lot.
money.
Yeah,
Get your money.
absolutely.
I'm not even mad.
No, no.
Yeah.
But you have these two different films in two different times, but you know, it's it's I don't know. So sorry. Now you can go back to your
Okay.
point. I just want to
So yeah,
put that for
so okay,
context.
this is what I didn't like the first one
Hmm.
because I figured out the plot.
Mm.
I knew who the bad guy was. Like there was like no surprises, and I couldn't get into it. The CGI sucked. Like ugh,
What about that
no
slow
like
motion?
no thank you. No thank you. I'll pass. But yeah, so yeah, it's like if I can tell what's gonna happen, I'm not gonna enjoy it. I'm just you're gonna lose my attention because I actually do suffer from ADHD. I'm gonna start playing on my phone or something. And I watched the first one because my best friend, she was obsessed with it. You have to watch it. I mean, it's a superhero. It's a woman. Ain't like ain't. It's like saying I voted for Hillary in 2016 because we both have ovaries. Like, no, that's not
Doesn't
how
work
that
that
works
way.
for me.
It
That's
doesn't
not
work
how it
that
works
way.
for me. Like
Hmm.
you still, yeah. But the second one, to me, just like this, to me, the storyline was better for me
Mm-hmm.
in the second one versus like the first one. So yeah, I was like, yeah, if they do a third one, then yeah. I mean, again, I'm probably not gonna go to the movie theater to watch it, but HBO Max or Paramount Plus or Netflix, some streaming giant's gonna pick it up for us
Yeah,
to
because I don't
stream.
even think you know what? I believe HBO Max has gotten to the point that they're selling shows to other streaming services, and they're not even streaming them on HBO Max. Whatever restructure they're
Yeah,
doing, which is annoying as well. But
yeah,
let me ask you this: is okay. So first things first, James Gunn, who is of Guardians of the Galaxy, Suicide Squad fame, and I believe Peter Safran is his partner, and they work all the way. They're getting ready to try to build their universe, and me and Michael had the conversation of when does that actually start? Because after Black Adam, we were wondering what DC movies were coming before they now fall under whatever James Gunn sets up. Because
yeah. Because what Black Adam came out, you got Shazam 2 coming out next
yep,
year.
the Batman
So
is on its way, the Joker is on its way. I believe there's another Harley Quinn movie or something, or there's a few other movies that's coming down the pipe. And as you
right,
if I don't know if you know, they canceled the Batgirl movie that they had already shot and then never released it. That was 90 million just gone. And they've, they're it seems like they're working to determine how they're going to move forward in this universe. So even though I know me and Michael have had this conversation before,
right.
Tamika, what would it take for you to possibly gain interest back into their movies? Because it's been such a disjointed mess at the moment. Well, not even disjointed, but just
It seems like it's kind of all over the place. Like,
I would say expectations is super low. Because by the time Black
yeah,
Adam came out, all they
I
had to
went in.
do all they
I
had to
went
do
into
was
it
give
with,
me a good
yeah,
fight scene, and I was like, all right, I'm good.
for real.
Yeah.
Like,
So
nice costume.
mhm,
Black Adam's actually killing people. Cool.
yeah.
I like it.
So,
It's like,
what would it take for you to be re-engaged in what they're trying to give you?
I just don't understand why. Because when you and I don't like to compare things,
Hmm.
but like when you look at like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like, okay, the first movies, like the Incredible Hulk and like the first and second, like Iron Man, like those are like they were like independent movies, right?
Right.
Because I don't know if they had thought like this far into the future with this project. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I don't know. I wasn't in the room, but like it was awesome to see. Like in the beginning, you have these individual movies, which are basically like the origin stories, for these characters. But at some point, there's a pivot where you start to see like the first Avengers movie, where you start to see all of these characters actually, coming into play with each other. And there's even though there's like separate storylines, there's subparts of a main storyline.
Yeah.
And I'm more familiar with the Marvel. Oh crap. I don't know why my watch is trying to talk. Um like I'm more familiar with like the Marvel superheroes than like the DC, outside of like Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, the Flash. But um I don't understand why there's been such a struggle to kind of get on a good foot, because you have the materials already. You have the comic books.
Hmm.
Pull from the freaking comic books. Like I don't understand that. And I finally thought, because I saw an interview that The Rock did when he was on his press tour about Black Adam, about how that, him coming on and finally being able to do Black Adam, he has this vision to like, why can't the DC universe, kind of look like the Marvel universe as far as like the movies and you know, having where there's one big storyline, but then there's like these little sub storylines. And so I went and I saw Black Adam, zero expectations. Actually enjoyed the movie. Was
Same.
shocked because again, it's a DC movie. But I enjoyed it, even though that Hawk guy got on my nerves.
It's funny you say that. My cousin Michael said the same thing. And
He
he
got
said
on my nerves.
yeah, he's not for everybody. And the thing is that, you know, and I think this is part of the reason I liked Black Adam was the fact that, you know, you had Hawkman saying, well, you can't be killing and all this other stuff. And everybody in, what was it, Kadar? I can't remember the name of the
The
country.
place. Yeah.
Yeah. They were like, hey, man, I don't care who you kill. We are tired of being ran over. And you
For
guys
real.
weren't here before. Now you trying to tell me you trying to stop the one person trying to save us? Come
For
on,
real. Like
you know?
let him do his thing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But it's
But
interesting you mentioned that too, because there's two things that we forgot here. There's a Flash movie that's coming out, which is kind of still wild because Ezra
yeah, like
Miller, yeah,
just
is he's batshit crazy and everything. You know, some of that stuff he's done on the island, right? So
right.
you have all of that stuff, and apparently it's so good they already decided to bring it up. They're going to bring out a week earlier than the first announced release date, and
I will be skipping it. I don't want no parts of it. I'm not putting no money in that man's pocket.
I respect it. I respect it. And to be fair, I'm not really interested either. He never looked that great in Justice League either. And you didn't see it, so you don't know. But
Yeah.
they just didn't particularly do. If they got my boy from the TV show, I'd be the happiest man in the world. But
Right.
the one who they picking Ezra Miller doesn't seem to fit. And it also seems that Jason Momoa is going to give up the role of Aquaman. It's a rumor, so I don't know how true it
I hope
is.
it's not true. I hope it's not true. Like he's Aquaman.
Well,
Like I've only seen him in the movie. Like it's
as
actually
Aquaman,
I think that was the first DC movie I actually went to the movie theater to see. And I mean, I love Jason Momoa. I mean,
mm-hmm.
I'm still mad at Daenerys Targaryen because I blame her for Khal Drogo's death in Game of Thrones. Stupid bitch. But like, yeah, um, he's a talented actor. Like,
Yeah,
there's a show on Netflix, Frontier.
yeah, yeah.
So good.
He was very
There's
good in that.
also an Apple TV show.
See,
Yes, like
yeah,
he's an amazing actor. I mean, eye candy. I'm never gonna say no to him being like shirtless in most of a movie. I mean, come on, I'm a woman, but
hey,
I really hope that I hope that's not like if you wanna start from scratch, because maybe you do have a good idea. Because I mean, I really do enjoy the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I
mm-hmm.
saw the first Suicide Squad, did not watch the second one because the first one just felt like a Will Smith movie. That is my personal opinion. The
So
Joker was Jared Leto did too much to me.
yeah,
Sorry. Heath
so just to let you
Ledger.
know, James Gunn did not direct the first one. I don't know. I can't remember who did. He
Okay.
only did the
So
second one.
I might have okay. I might have to sit down and watch the second one. But you got me at Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Love all of those movies. So excited. I haven't seen the holiday special on Disney Plus yet. I'm gonna get into that probably
Yeah,
this weekend.
same here.
And then there's a third Guardians of the Galaxy movie coming out. Excited to see that.
Did you see the trailer?
But did I? I think I did.
It's not
Maybe.
much there, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, and that's what they do though, right? That's
Right.
that's
And then
what
it's not until the
Marvel
Super
does.
Bowl. It's not until the Super
Yeah.
Bowl then they bring out the what they call it.
Like
They
the
almost
official.
they do like Love in Hip Hop, where they like, okay, now we're gonna give you the super trailer, where we're now gonna tell you what's going on, and you're like, and personally, like like I told you, I watch the only trailer I watch is the trailer that they give me the very first time, and then off of that, you're determining for me if I'm going or not, because my preference is not to watch a whole bunch of trailers. Like but we'll see.
Right.
We'll see.
No,
But
I'm the same. I'm the same way. Like, I think I might have watched maybe one trailer for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever,
mhm,
and I'm like, I really don't have to watch it because I honestly don't care what the storyline is. I'm there. Like,
yeah.
I'm going to see that movie 3 times in the theaters.
So before we get to Black Panther, because I would definitely can't wait to have that conversation as
Yeah.
well. Um,
I
what?
think what I was trying to say though was
Mhm,
if you want to start from scratch, because maybe you do have a good idea,
mhm,
on a way to really build up DC like Marvel, but I think it would be stupid to like get like Henry Cavill is this generation's Christopher Reeve.
yeah,
Like he's my Superman.
same here.
Um, Same with like Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman. So if you like, don't recast those parts. I mean, you can recast the Flash. I'm just saying,
Absolutely. Hey,
but
and to be
like,
honest with you, I would love for Cyborg to come back. Now that that harassment suit and all that
yeah,
stuff has passed, I would love for, even if it's someone new, I would love to see, because I would like to see him or Static Shock, someone,
yeah,
because I don't think, other than Idris Elba and Will Smith, I don't recall a black superhero on the Disney side.
yeah,
Not that I can think of. So I would love to have somebody, even if it's Black Lightning,
yeah.
one of these guys to show up and be a part of it, because hello, I would love to just see them on the screen as well,
Yeah,
and you know what I
it would be
think.
nice.
I think the thing is they don't do the obvious. It's like, it's right there. Do it. Like you
It's
said,
right there
it's like, go to the books, find one of the better storylines of that series and put it on the screen, and people
for
will come.
real.
And then, like you said, you're not even familiar with a lot of the DC lore. This is the way you can grab people, because then
Exactly.
you can do it however you so desire. But
Exactly, because like for me, like I didn't grow up on comic books,
mhm,
so when like the Marvel stuff, like it got announced, and yeah, there's this whole like universe that we're building with these storylines and all of these movies and TV shows. Like when I tell you Marvel can take all of my money, Marvel can take all of my money. Like that's how invested I am in this MCU. So yeah, I feel like DC, you can do the same. Just do not. I repeat, do not recast Aquaman, Wonder Woman. Am I
yeah, there's a
forgetting
handful of
somebody?
those that they don't need to recast.
Like, yeah, like just okay. You didn't like this the treatment that the director submitted. Fine, cool. Let's go back to the drawing board so that
Hmm.
we can make Wonder Woman 3 like the best Wonder Woman movie
Hmm.
ever.
Yeah.
Even better than the TV show.
Oh.
Damn.
Yeah. But no, it's
So
true, because you know what? It's funny, as you were telling me how you felt about the first Wonder Woman movie, it brought up some things that just annoyed me. It was the whole Matrix type of feel to it. When every time a
yeah.
action part got started, okay, let's slow this down to show the bullet fly over the head and stuff like that. And it's,
it got aggravating.
well, you know what? The Matrix is the only one that I would even want that from. There's nobody
Exactly.
else I want them to do it. And like you said, to me, I think Gal Gadot makes a great Wonder Woman, and you can't go wrong. I think Henry Cavill makes a great
Yeah.
Superman.
Me. Yeah.
I do wonder who could play the Batman in this universe, or pay your boy and from the Batman and have him in it, because I think he played a great Batman. And
Thank
you,
you.
you
Somebody was
know,
like, "You're biased because you're a Robert Pattinson fan." I mean, I'm a Robert Pattinson fan, but like the dude is talented. Like I know
he
people
is
give him crap for being that sparkly ass vampire in
right,
them Twilight movies, but
but
if
he
you
shows
look
out.
at his body of work, dude has range.
Right.
He is talented. So yeah, I would love, because even though I went to the movie theater and saw the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I love you, Robert. That movie was entirely too damn long. There was like 3 different places where you could have ended it.
Right. Right.
Like, but
Right.
yeah, like, so yeah, just not Ben. If I'm leave Ben Affleck, let him focus on his marriage to Jennifer Lopez, who apparently is doing a tribute to Whitney Houston at the Grammys.
Oh, I'm not watching that. I'm already disgusted.
Who came up with that?
I don't know. And
We couldn't get Christina Aguilera or Jennifer Hudson.
there's a lot of people with some wonderful voices they could have got for
For
that.
it's
And ugh. Okay. All right.
yeah.
Now you getting me real
Yeah,
upset.
sorry. My bad. I'm just sorry. Yeah, let him focus on his marriage to her.
So
Please. Yeah.
I'm gonna just say that I'm hoping for the best for DC.
Yeah.
And I would really
Same.
love for them. It's kind of like how Marvel is a bit right now, in the sense of I want to see where we're going, right?
Yeah.
Michael and I have discussion all the time of between, what was it, Thor Love and Thunder, there was the Black Panther movie, and even Doctor Strange, because now we're getting to the point, expectation on the Marvel side is, okay, who's the big bad? What's happening next? How are we going to make this work now that a lot of these actors and actresses have kind of left the building, because that's a 10-year ride you had to take. What is coming? And so we're hoping, whether it's Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man, something else that's coming down, that we're going to find out, okay, this is the big bad and this is what they're working to make that next, I won't say end game, but maybe kind of sort of towards, right?
I think the next like bad guy, just my personal opinion, is gonna
Mhm.
be Khan the Conqueror.
Yeah. King. Yeah, I know who you're
Kane,
talking
yeah,
about.
my bad. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
him.
you're good. But
Which Jonathan Majors amazing job
yeah, yeah.
as that character. I was not expecting to see him in Loki,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, because I'm pretty sure, because I've seen trailers for the Ant-Man movie that comes out next year, like February or March, I think. And yeah, I think he's the bad guy
Yeah.
in the next Ant-Man. So that would be, I'm excited to see that. Like you said, I'm gonna be patient, because maybe them taking over, maybe they have what it takes to set DC on a proper path.
Mm-hmm.
I just yet like there's so much potential there, and that's coming from somebody who does not have a whole lot of knowledge about like the DC characters.
Yeah.
But I just feel like it's a very popular comic series along with Marvel, and it's been around for a long time, like Marvel. So
Yeah.
there is no reason why y'all can't sit down, go through the comics, and come up with like storylines.
You know
Make it
what?
happen.
Uh, there's one thing to be said, and this happens with Marvel as well, but I think it happens a whole lot more with DC. You literally have the printed page and you seem to ignore it. The
For
thing that
real.
got you there, right? Whether it's the novels, whether it's the comic books, whatever it is, the
Yeah,
fact
pull
that
from the old cartoons.
absolutely, you're not lying. It just seems like as soon as someone says, "Let's put this on film," someone sits in that boardroom and says, "Hey, that's cool and all, but I think we need to cut these parts out and we need to add this." And I never
Yeah.
understand that. You literally had the printed page, and then what makes it worse is they never want, in most cases, they never want to talk about it, that it came from that. like it's
Right.
a bad thing that you read it, you know? And I never understand that because, you know, when you go to Black Panther and someone says, hey, I want more of this. Why isn't there an ad right at the end of this saying, go to your local comic book store, pick up Black Panther, or go digital, pick up Black
Yeah.
Panther so you can see more, you know? Instead, and
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, it's not going to be the same as the movie, you know,
Right.
but you at least you get to understand, you know, because like for example, the comic books talk about the whole world of Wakanda. They give you more on T'Challa, they give you more on Shuri, everything that you
Yeah.
need. And you know, it blows my mind sometimes that we always ignore the original material that it came from. But going forward, let's get to our project of the week. Now, we always have a project of the week where we either read a comic book, watch a TV show, or see a movie, whatever that may be, whatever
Right.
we're interested in. So, like for example, last week we kind of talked about Static Shock, even though we didn't get to record that portion. But
Right.
this week, since I know me and you both seen it, and Michael hasn't, we are going to talk about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And the thing we're going to talk about, you know, our pros, our cons, what we like. It's on, you know, pretty much a review.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, cool.
so just to give a synopsis, Black Panther Wakanda Forever is basically giving us what has happened now that T'Challa, also known as Chadwick Boseman, has passed away, and how the world of Wakanda has to recover from this. And this goes from the Queen, played by Angela Bassett. This goes to Shuri and her role in this. The world after T'Challa has passed for Wakanda. And we also introduce to Namor. And in the books, it used to be Atlantis, but that was too close to Aquaman. And
Yeah.
I know they gave it a new name, but I don't recall what that name is off the top of my head. But
Like Telecom or something like that.
yeah, something of the sort. And
Yeah.
so we are now introduced to the new world of Wakanda and so forth. So a few things that I wanted to go over for this is we're gonna go over our favorite characters, our least favorite characters, our favorite part of the movie, least favorite part of the movie, and just your overall thoughts. So
Okay.
as my guest, I'm going to let you start first. Me, why don't you start us off and tell me who your favorite character was of this movie?
My favorite character for this movie, I would say, surprisingly, Okoye.
Mm.
I really enjoyed her storyline, and I'm excited to see what comes next for her now that she's not the general of the Dora Milaje.
You don't think she'll get that back though? Just out of curiosity.
I think that they like because now that spoiler alert, now that the
Yeah, I
Queen
guess I
Mother is
should say that.
dead,
Hey, if you haven't seen the movie, you might want to
yeah,
fast forward through this part.
for real. Because
Yeah.
and I mean, shame on you. How long has that movie been out? Go watch it. You're missing out. But yeah, because I just like her. The I understand the Queen Mother's reaction. You know, with Shuri getting. I guess she could not kidnap because she asked to go.
Hmm.
But like, yeah, I feel like firing her is a bit of an overreaction. But again, I get it. Like you're grieving. You know, you lost your son. You're probably still grieving that, and then you don't know what's going on with your daughter. But so yeah, now that it looks like M'Baku, which honestly was another favorite. Like, what's not to love about M'Baku? He
Hmm.
is hilarious. But you know, now that he's king, I could see them offering it to her. I don't know if she'd take it back.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting to see, you know, in the next time we're in Wakanda.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was my. Who was your favorite character?
My favorite would probably be so when we were talking back in the day, we were talking off mic and we talked about Black Panther. I already
Yeah.
mentioned how much I love Ramonda, which is Angela Bassett,
Yeah.
because of, she wasn't for play. She made it clear
No.
that don't think that because we lost our king, we're weak. And I just,
Yeah. That
you
whole
know,
address at the UN. Oh my
hmm
God.
yeah. And, you know, I believe if I'm correct, I want to say Angela's in her 60s, early 60s,
She is.
maybe.
She's in her 60s.
Right. And she always,
Aging backwards.
who you telling? She is definitely
She got that Benjamin Button.
oh, I was literally about to say the same thing. But she always exudes, no matter what role she's ever played, she exudes this confidence in these
Yeah.
roles. Even some
Yeah.
roles where she's supposed to be vulnerable. Whatever she does with that role, the way that I look at her and I look at Michelle Yeoh about certain things is
Yeah.
almost the same. It's like if you give these two ladies a wheelhouse to play in, they are going to show out.
Yeah.
And that's what she did, right? To the point that to me she led the charge. But escaping that, if I was to really say who my favorite character was, it'd probably be Riri Williams, right? And she wasn't even in the movie a lot.
Even long. Yeah. She definitely grabbed my attention. The
Yes.
few scenes that she did have, I got so excited when I heard that they're doing like an Ironheart show for Disney
Hmm.
Plus.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like, because I was like, I need either like an origin movie. She needs like her own project.
Hmm.
So
Well,
yeah, because
and
her character was a great addition to the team.
yes, and well, the other side of that I think about too is, right, you remember just as well as I do in the 90s, like everything that was African centric was a stereotype, right?
Yeah,
Whether you were gangster, you were pimp, you got all these things. And the one thing, it's kind of why, even though, there's a lot of controversy behind it, it's why we loved the Cosby Show back in the day so much. Because you had a
yeah,
lawyer,
because
you
it
had a
was
doctor.
regular representation. Because not all Black folks do drugs, sell drugs, gang
Yep,
bang, go to
yep,
jail,
yep,
be selling their bodies, like
yep,
be pimping, like
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, no, yeah, because the Cosby Show, and A Different World
A
were
different
like
world. A different world
huge.
made you want to go to college
Yeah,
for sure. You know,
yeah,
and so you had those things. So then now you have two women, because Shuri was no joke either. But you have
no,
these two women who are all about the sciences, right? And to see that, and like for example, Riri went to MIT, she made these inventions and stuff like that. It's just dope to see, you know, someone someone else of that culture doing these
because
things.
representation like that, it does matter.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
really does matter. Like all
Right.
these people that are up in arms. Like, how would y'all feel? Well, I guess it's behind the whole Ariel controversy, but somebody on social media, some
Mhm.
white person had that's Duke. They made a comment like, "How would you feel if T'Challa in Black Panther was white?" Well, y'all go. So yeah, I just and I after the first Black Panther, I really was just like, I was blown away
Mhm.
because for the first time in a long time,
Mhm.
it's nice to see where like the cast is like 99.9% Black,
Yeah.
and like every single character, even the bad guy, even
Mhm.
Killmonger,
Yeah.
you know, there was no stereotypical Black parts to be played in that movie, and
Mm-hmm.
it really blew my mind because I looked at it like, damn, like I wonder what the entire continent of Africa
Would
would
look
look
like,
like if it had never been colonized.
yeah, it'd be a different. We'd be in a different situation, right?
Exactly.
And then the other side of it is because I remember Michael and I had a conversation about Chadwick better not mess up that African accent, and we were wondering how they
Yeah,
were going to do that, right? We was wondering he's going to have an African
yeah,
accent, or was he going to have like a British accent, or
right.
whatever rendition he did. We was just hoping that it just didn't sound horrible, right? And he knocked it out the park.
He embodied. It was like he was born to play that role. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
such an
absolutely.
amazing job.
Yeah. So,
Actually cried when I found out that he died. Never
I don't
met the man, but I cried. Like that's really sad. And then to just know that like the dude had been sick,
for that
fighting
long.
cancer,
Hmm.
making movies
Yeah,
in silence.
yeah,
I'm never gonna complain about anything ever in my life.
right. Yeah, and like you said, I didn't know him either, but heartbroken because
Yeah,
you
so
know,
sad.
and then because I remember joking back in the day, it was like, oh, he's our go-to for every Black historical movie, right? Because of all the roles that they had given him before. But
Yeah.
if there's two roles that really stick out to me personally, it's Black Panther and 21 Bridges. I love him in 21 Bridges,
I
right?
haven't seen 21 Bridges
I
yet.
I it look,
It's on my list.
it's
It's
not
on my list.
it is it is not it's nothing mind-blowing, but I just think he played a great detective in
Yeah,
that.
just the way, yeah, hit, just a such a talented person.
Yes. Yes. So
Gone too soon. Rest in peace.
now that we mentioned all this talent, tell me who you couldn't
Yeah.
stand in Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Who couldn't I stand? I didn't understand why the two white people were present. I,
Mm-hmm.
I like okay, Ross. I can kind of understand
Mm-hmm.
because in the first movie, he would have died if T'Challa hadn't been like, "Hey, give him to us. We'll take him back to Wakanda. We can heal him."
Mm-hmm.
But like I love. I can't think of her real name. The lady that plays like she's like the director of the CIA now, whatever.
Oh, Julia Louis Dreyfus from Seinfeld.
Yeah, love her. I
Same.
hate this character. I do
Mm-hmm.
not like this character. She is not a good person. Um,
Yeah.
but so yeah, those I was just like, okay, Ross, I can understand. He does have ties because he's actually been to Wakanda and
Mm-hmm.
actually helped them when the battle between T'Challa and Killmonger.
Yeah.
But like there was no we really did not need to see the CIA director in this movie at all.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was
Yeah.
my least favorite character, and I don't even know the character's name, but I was just like, why?
Everett Ross. And only reason I know is because I got IMDb up over here. So,
Well,
but
no, not him. The chick from Seinfeld, her
oh,
character.
yeah,
Yeah, that was my least favorite character.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
No,
Ross was aggravating, but like again, I understand he's actually stepped foot in Wakanda. So with Black Panther, you're gonna see Ross.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, ugh.
Then I would
So
say again, it leaves so many questions. Like, what
it
was that
does.
for? And there's a curiosity there. How much was cut that we didn't get to see? Because I'm just like, well, why did we do
Yeah,
this? You
and I,
know?
I understand that that like there was a script that was created for the second Black Panther when Chadwick was alive. I get that. So him passing. Okay, obviously we got to not really go back to the drawing board, but we got to change the script because T'Challa's not here. And I was really hoping and praying because I know there was like a petition online to recast T'Challa.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. Like,
Yeah.
please don't do that. Like, and so going into it, I went into it with like zero expectations, and the way that they paid homage and to not just T'Challa but to Chadwick.
Mm-hmm.
That was so beautiful to see. Like the first time I went to see it, I cried, and there were several different scenes. Like
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning, you know, when Shuri is running around trying to create like an artificial heart-shaped herb to save her brother, and then
Mm-hmm.
you hear her mom saying that he's going to be with the ancestors, and then the whole tribute to him with like you know, like normally they do, I don't want to say it's like the intro, but like the Marvel Studios bit where you see like the different characters.
Yep.
And normally you hear like the Marvel Studios, I guess, like theme music. For
Yeah.
it was like a moment of silence in the movie for him. That made me
Mm-hmm.
cry.
Oh,
And
my heart
then
was oh,
yeah,
I
I
didn't
brought
cry, but
tissue.
I was
I brought
super
I brought
somber.
tissue. Yeah, I
Yeah.
brought tissue because I was like, I know that this is going to be hard to get through because it's a movie. I mean, you can't say Black Panther and not think of T'Challa.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just hoping and praying that they really did it justice, and they really did. And that post credit scene, so perfect. Like that is how you quote unquote recast like the character,
Mm-hmm.
his
So
son.
so I agree with you. And that and yeah, and that was so I'm gonna get to my least favorite part, but I'm glad you kind of mentioned that because I want to say first that with all the controversy that surrounded her and
Oh, sure.
everything,
Letitia, right?
yeah, the when she did that beginning scene, and I felt all of that, right? And I feel like, and I'm playing devil's advocate here because she played a great role, and we talked about this before.
She did.
The
I was
reason,
surprised
yeah,
at like the level of like, yeah, like she really she stepped her game up, I feel like, in this movie. Like,
I
and I'm
agree.
pretty sure it was kind of easy to do like the emotional stuff because I mean you're filming this movie without like the actual Black Panther. So,
And it's
but
someone
yeah.
you knew personally, so I'm sure that
Yeah.
part definitely played a part. But it's like I said before, to me, Letitia Wright, while her acting was better in this, when she goes against a giant like Angela Bassett and a few others, I feel like she then kind of took a step back. Even Namor came through. And the
Yeah.
gentleman's name who played that was Tanach Herta. And
Yeah.
and when they came through, I kind of almost looked at Shuri as a secondary character. And it's not
Yeah, like yeah, he came in and it was like like I felt like the scenes were like they were together, especially
mm-hmm,
like anytime yeah they were on screen together. I feel like I know it wasn't intentional, but I just feel like he stole the
he did.
scene.
He did. And I excuse me. And so again, I think when she is accompanied with certain people, I think she shines better. Like for example, I look at the first one, and of course this is kind of obvious, but when she was next to Chadwick, she shined even better because of how she played Shuri at that time. And then of course we're
Yeah.
getting a new different type of Shuri, but um like I said, I'm playing devil's advocate with say because I don't want to say that she did bad, but the I think the magnitude of that moment might have got into her, right? And maybe just everything that happened during that moment got to her.
Right.
And and you know, I can't wait to see what she does later on as Black Panther and all this stuff. And to her credit, the scenes at the end when she fought Namor was great. When she met Killmonger instead of her
Oh my
family,
God. When I
you
tell
know.
you the theater went crazy at that scene when she
Yeah,
goes to the ancestral plane, because I mean, I'm like, well, it would be nice if it was T'Challa, but we know she's not going to see T'Challa because
yep,
Chadwick isn't here.
yep.
So, okay, it's got to be Ramonda.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh
then
no.
when I saw them dreads, I was like, Killmonger, yeah.
And it's funny because a lot of people thought they were going to do a CGI and do like Chadwick Boseman or
Yeah,
do
no,
someone else.
that would have been tacky
Yes,
to
I
me.
agree. Personally, I
Yeah.
agree too. I remember when Star Wars tried to do it back in the day and it just didn't work. And so I'm really glad that they didn't do that. But let's get to our favorite parts of the movie. And
Yeah.
I'll start this one off. My
Okay.
favorite part is, and it's always and it probably forever will be, the costumes. Ruth Carter, who is the lady
Yeah.
who makes these costumes, I don't know how she comes up with the vision that she comes up with, but she does such an amazing job of making these people look regal, making them look like a true African tribe, even though we do know that this is not real.
Yeah, some
And
made up. Yeah.
and so that always gets me. But if I'm going to say my favorite part, it's going to probably be when Okoye start going toe to toe with one of Namor's guys, and I can't remember his name. They're pretty much their strong arm guy, and
Yeah.
and you know the respect was given, and they threw down, and you know of course Okoye lost, but this is what Denai Guria does, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. This is what she does. I remember her from The Walking Dead, of course, and she used to
Right.
show out with playing Michonne. But watching her do these action scenes, I ain't gonna hold you. I need a action movie from her where
I would, yeah.
I would love to, hey, they took my son, my family, something, something, and she's an ex CIA FBI agent. I don't care about the story. Put her in the fight scenes and let her
Do
show out. You
do a
know,
female version of Taken.
ooh, I would love it. I would love it. You know,
Yeah.
so that would be really that would to me, she has always exuded that. So
Yeah.
that was one of my favorite moments of the movie because they gave her like her 5 to 10 minutes and and I'm using this because I already talked about Angela Bassett. She already did what she did, but I
Right.
would be remiss if I didn't say how she also as well, did her part in this movie. What was your favorite
Yeah.
part, Hoss?
I, um one and I don't judge me.
Hmm.
But when Namor came back to Wakanda, because Nakia had she had rescued Shuri,
Mm.
and he kind of killed the mom, and he
Hmm.
told Shuri, "Hi." He told her like bury your dad, mourn the loss, and he looked at Shuri like, "You're queen now." I was like, that is so cold. That is so cold. Namor don't give a F.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And just to give you a little context, Tamika, because I know you don't read the comic books,
Right.
Wakanda and I'm just going to say Atlantis, but
Yeah.
Namor and Black Panther have a serious history of war in the books. So there was a lot of excitement of seeing these two duke it out on film just because of their hatred for each other in the books.
Yeah.
So that part really kind of told the tale right there and there.
Yeah. Like, and I've seen like memes and stuff about it on like social media. It's just freaking hilarious. But yeah, I was just like, he's cold with it. Another thing that I really liked was when they find out that okay, yeah, vibranium isn't just in Wakanda.
Mm-hmm.
So the legends and like, yeah, history's not always right.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that.
That's like ancestry.com. You all your life you've been talking about you got Cherokee in your blood, and then ancestry is like, nah, dog. No, you
Yeah,
don't.
because according to Ancestry, I am mostly Nigerian,
Mm. Yeah, I
but
think like Cameroon.
there is some like European, uh, which explains like the curly hair.
You know what? Funny enough, who it almost seemed like who does it? I'm like 13% European.
Yeah,
So
I'm
like,
like, that's why I really don't understand the argument of like, the pure race. Like there is no pure race.
no.
If every single person alive would, sat down and actually trace their ancestry,
Hmm.
everybody got a little bit of everybody in them. That's just what it is.
So I could go and say our least favorite part, but I'm going to skip that part. And I'm just going to ask you, what's your overall thoughts on this movie?
I thought it was overall, obviously I liked it. I went and saw it 3 times. It's just I respect the project. I think that Ryan Coogler and the team, they did an amazing job with telling this story. I can't imagine how hard it was for them again to have to like pick up the pieces with
Hmm.
losing, Chadwick, and the way that they honored him in that movie, chef's kiss, just mwah,
Yeah.
was perfect to me.
Yeah. I think he got the proper send off. I know I
Yeah.
heard things where people were saying maybe it was a little short or whatever, but I'm going to be honest. When you had that scene of jubilation in the casket is being sent to the ship,
Oh
I
my
was
God, I
just,
cried. I
yeah,
cried again.
I was like, this is perfect. And it's the way, because you know what, I know you've seen the meme where there's I'll say like the African dance patrol, or I don't know what they're
Yeah,
called, and they're dancing with the casket, and
yeah.
they kind of did something to that same extent in this, but that it's a real thing, and it almost makes me also think of Louisiana when someone
Oh,
passes, and they have a
yeah,
whole band and stuff like that. There's scenes of celebration and not
yeah,
scenes of mourning, heavy scenes of mourning.
yeah.
So I think this was a great send off. There's
I think
I
so
could talk
too.
about all the questions, but I think getting past this first was important, and so I'm very happy for that. So
Same.
to finish this off, is there anything that you're looking forward to in the future? Game, book, movie? Is there something that you got that you're that you're excited to see in the coming days?
Um, Mainly just like because I think we're starting phase 6 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Hmm.
Um, I, I saw a TikTok video that summed up phase 5 really nicely. It's like somebody said that phase
Hold,
5 is
hold on real
like,
quick. I think we're still in phase 4 and they're about to start phase
oh,
5. I don't
okay.
think, yeah. So I think the
Yeah,
upcoming
okay.
phase is phase 5.
Misspoke. My
No
bad.
worries.
But yeah, like phase 4 was just grief.
Mm,
Cause like there's a lot of death, a lot of like sad moments. And so now that we're looks like about to really dive into this multiverse, I'm excited for the multiverse.
so am I. I
Yeah.
agree with
So
that.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to Ant-Man coming out. I think it's February or March.
Hmm.
Really, like I will be there opening weekend
Oh, I'm
to
sure you
watch
will,
it.
and we'll have to talk about that. I think the thing I'm excited about, and it's weird that I'm kind of excited about it because I won't say I kind of shitted on it, but I wasn't too excited at the beginning. I'm kind of excited for Avatar. I want to see if it's going to be any good.
Can I be honest?
because what's up?
I've never seen the first one.
What? Oh my goodness. Now, I want to be fair, right? When, because me and you were both living in Korea at the time when the first one came out. The first Avatar was such a visual masterpiece that
Really? Okay.
yeah, because this was around the time before the 3D television, but 3D had became very popular,
Right.
and just the visuals, and to be fair, even now, because my daughters love Avatar, it looks beautiful. The story is meh, but the visuals of that film is what really makes that movie, right?
Right.
Now, it is like I think 2.5 hours and all the other stuff. So,
The first
for
one?
yeah, yeah. So for most people, watching it at home is way better than watching it in the theater. But to be fair, Avatar was the reason that a whole bunch of people bought a 3D television back in the day, just to
Oh
realize that
wow.
not all films needed 3D, and then they
Right.
were upset, right? Because they had bought the glasses, they had bought this TV, and then like I think only a handful of other movies came out with 3D, and then it was gone. But that's what I'm looking for, because if there's one thing that James Cameron himself is good at, is he loves the technical side of film,
Okay.
and so I'm curious to see if he knocks it out the park. And if so, I mean, I feel like this is something I go take my daughters to see in theaters
Right.
or whatever. Because there's those blockbusters that just seem like this would be interesting, even if you're not too sure, and then you
Yeah.
go see it, and then you go like, it was better than I thought it was. But I am like you, where I'm selective about my movie experience. Right? If I have it my way,
Right.
I like to go because of the time difference. I would go on a Thursday night, sit there with my popcorn and my like if I go see Batman, my Batman cup, and I'm gonna go and really enjoy whatever I'm
Yeah.
watching. Like, we were just talking about Solace, and
Right.
there's nothing better than losing your imagination to film,
Oh
personally.
my God.
It's just amazing. It doesn't matter what type of film it is. It's just
Yeah, no,
in
but yeah, when you can just like your reality just kind of fades away.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
No matter what problems I ever dealt with, there's
yeah.
there's been nothing more exciting for me personally than seeing Iron Man on the big screen, because I'm big into
Oh my God.
robots and science and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So to see him, and he's been one of my favorite characters for years, I could care less about my problems at that moment. They'll be there when
Yeah.
I'm done. But yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see what Avatar brings to the screen. So,
Okay.
Meek, I just want to tell you thank you so much for coming and joining us for an episode of the Nation80 podcast.
It was
I
my
really
pleasure,
enjoyed it,
man.
and we
Yeah,
definitely
well,
hope to have you back. And
I would love to come back.
hey, you know
I
what?
really would.
I'll work things out, and maybe we can sit down, and hopefully Michael gets to see around the same time. We can all have a review on the Ant-Man movie or something of that nature, right? And
Yeah.
and see how that's going. But I appreciate you again. So for everyone out there, if you don't know, Meek, why don't you tell them about your candle business?
You're sweet. So
Mhm,
yeah, I started my own candle business. It's been over 2 years now. It's like a hobby during the start of the pandemic and the shutdown.
mhm,
I was in therapy telling my therapist that I felt like the walls are starting to close in on me. And she was like, you need to find something to like distract you. And I've always loved a good smelling candle and just got curious as to how to make them. Brought a kit, made some, found the process to be therapeutic. 'Cause, I mean, it's not like rocket science. So I can kind of like it's like my escape, like how like
mhm,
movies can be, and even books. 'Cause I
mhm.
love a book where I can just immerse myself into that world while, whenever I'm reading. But yeah, I could just like my problems melt away and I made some candles, sent them to some family and some friends. They're like, "You made these?" I was like, "Yes." They're like, "You should be selling these." So yeah, Meek and Mild Candles was born 2 years ago. I use all natural products because you'd be amazed at what's actually inside some of your favorite brands, to include Yankee Candle, Bath and Body Works. Those are like the big two candle makers.
I remember
They're
Yankee.
yeah, they're toxic. Like they have toxins and carcinogen in their the oils that they use to scent the candles, as well as the wax. They use paraffin wax. I get it; it's cheap, but it's a petroleum byproduct. So yeah, have a website. It's meekandmildcandles.com. Not only do we make candles, we make, I say we, but it's me. I'm a one woman operation. But I make candles, wax melts, reed diffusers. So like if you live in like the dorms or like the barracks, or even like those that work at a desk in an office space where you can't have a flame, reed diffusers are the answer. As well as what I like to call mini meats, which are car fresheners.
Ooh, I can use one of those.
Yeah.
My dog be stinking up my car, so.
So yeah.
And maybe I'm lying, and maybe it's me, and I just say it's my dog just so it don't seem like I'm disgusting. Well, Meek, we will definitely give us the link, and we'll add it to the description of this for those who are interested.
Cool.
And yeah, so like I said, what's that now?
I said thanks for the plug.
Oh no, absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, this has been my A Spoon Coon for many years. So as you can see, it's always seamless when we get together because all we do is talk shit, right?
Yeah. All
and
day,
so
every day.
all day, every day. But regardless, this has been another episode of the Nation80 podcast. Keep your imagination up, and we'll see you for the next episode.